Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. I'm doing a video today on Wade Wilson.
The jury has reached a verdict in the double murder trial of Wade Wilson, and he's accused of murdering two women in 2019. He allegedly confessed to his father.
I have been trying to keep up on the Wade drama and his appeal process. Right now, I've got some clips that I want to share with you. Loony people out there, I guess, who truly believe that Wade Wilson is innocent. Of course, there are petitions that were created if they were against the death penalty for Wade Wilson. I wanted to read some of the comments. There's also the poem a fan wrote for him. It says, "Poem for Wade. You wear a mask of tattoos as your disguise, but I see the pain and sadness in your eyes. It's clear by your beauty that God wanted you to have a beautiful life filled with joy and the love of a devoted wife. But after a life of abuse and damaged boy remains, a boy who was shackled in sorrow and chains, you had a life of torture and didn't get the chance to find a way to fight the demons you face night and day. As the verdict looms, the world spreads hate, but let us pause for a moment and contemplate, because behind the bravado, the world should see a frightened boy who deserves our sympathy. In your gaze, there's a desperate plea for a little understanding and empathy. The world sees a villain who should never be free, but they don't know your full story. If they looked in your eyes, they'd see the regret and pain and recognize in your heart beauty still remains." The petition has over 27,000 signatures. Some even left a video.
I think he should spare the death penalty to Wade Wilson because I believe he's innocent.
We also have comments on the petition. Somebody says, "Free him. He deserves a second chance like everybody else. I believe in Wade Wilson 100%. This man is so effing hot. He needs to be released immediately and needs to have a night with me. This man needs mercy. People make mistakes and it's okay. He needs to have another chance because he has so much potential. I swear I could change this man." Somebody wrote, "I want to OD on Wade. He needs love and help, not death."
The government strives to help, serve, and protect. Serve Wade Wilson by helping him. Protect your people. Protect Wade by helping him get the help he fucking needs. I don't think he did it. I really do believe he's innocent, and I feel like he's covering for someone.
Probably more disturbing than the petition, the TikTok videos that these women have created surrounding Wade Wilson. They live in this delusional fantasy of him where they have actually used AI to create new images of him and have taken off the swastika tattoo from his face. Everything about him are just bizarre. Take a look. Everything about these girls seem to be in some sort of world not in touch with the reality surrounding Wade Wilson and his crimes that he was convicted for, and he confessed himself to them. I don't even have words for some of these videos. They put him on this pedestal that is just not the real Wade Wilson. I mean, even this post here on Facebook just sums up everything. And this is after the new photos came out on Melissa Jade's channel. It says, "I don't care about anything or anyone. I don't care how much I get offended. I swear I'll never let go of your hand. I'll be with you until the end. I want to see you happy. I love you, Wade Wilson." want to go through some of the letters that were written to the judge specifically by people who knew Wade. Dear Honorable Judge Nicholas Thompson, I am writing you to beg you to please not sentence Wade Wilson to death. I knew Wade. He's the kindest, most caring and loving person. He's a young man who loves to giggle and laugh. Wait a minute, did she just say that Wade loves to laugh and giggle? I think we've heard enough of his laugh on the phone calls from prison.
I am not fucking crazy. I'm not crazy. It's you. you make me crazy.
He puts on a tough exterior, but he's not tough. He's a little boy in a man's body. He wasn't cold at the trial and sentencing. That was him trying to hide his emotions because he knows if he shows emotions like he wants to, he knows he gets attacked in jail or prison. The footage of his sentencing recommendation is the most heart-wrenching thing I have ever seen. It's a man hyperventilating, struggling to catch his breath. Wade also was not represented by a team who cared to do their job properly, in my opinion. One of the lawyers was caught on camera sleeping, and the other laughing as he shuffled through papers because they were not prepared. I honestly think there are too many holes in this case, and most of it was hearsay and slander testimonies. Just like his ex Kelly, who was trying to say things for fame and money. There are a lot of girls saying things that are made up because they were in love with Wade and he didn't choose to stay and be with them. Some women are very spiteful like that. I'm sorry, but trying to get a man's life taken from him over a broken heart is sadistic. I also know he had intimate messages with some in jail and they are trying to villainize him. What these girls are not showing is the things that they said to Wade to encourage the intimate talk. A lot of people have outlandish sexual fantasies that turn them on. It doesn't mean they are killers. I also think there is nothing wrong with the fact that he has been chatting with people who have written and messaged him. This is a man deprived of human contact for years. He is a man, a human being with feelings. He is and has been lonely for years. He knows what awful things people say about him, so of course when he has an inpouring of kind messages come in, he's going to want to talk to them. You and I would do the same. Wade has never known what love felt like. He has been disappointed by people without proper guidance his entire life. He may not have been on the best path, but that doesn't mean he is a killer. I believe the people threatening him orchestrated the murders and set him up. I think they drugged him and did these things, and when Wade came to, they told him what he had to say. As far as Mila's testimony, it shouldn't be counted. It's slander hearsay. I believe Wade should be granted a new trial and or acquitted. But if you are determined to stick to one or the other as far as life in prison with no parole or death penalty, I beg you, Your Honor, please have more mercy on this young man and let him live. Wade is such a beautiful soul, a lost soul filled with pain and sadness. If you believe he is guilty and you want him to suffer, life in prison will accomplish that. Him being in his own mind is torture enough. He can grow in there, even help be an example to others, and to not take the same paths he has taken. Fighting evil with evil is never the way. You will be murdering another human. Execution is wrong. Only God knows what's happened. Only God can judge. It should be no man's choice to intentionally murder another human. I say all this with respect, Your Honor, but I am strongly against the death penalty. And if Wade is sentenced to death, you aren't just ending his life, but many others, including mine. Many people love and care for Wade because we know the good, kind person he is. It affects thousands of people, not just Wade. If he is sentenced to death, speaking for myself, I will never be okay. This isn't right, and God would never agree with people executing a young 30-year-old boy with his life ahead of him. It's no one's place to stop his heart and take his breath from him. I beg you, Your Honor, to let Wade live. I can't sleep, can't eat, because I am terrified you already have your mind made up. His children are also going to want to speak to their dad throughout their lives, regardless of if he is in contact with the mother. My mom was not in my life, and as I got older, I was able to talk to her, and it made me so happy. Children don't judge their parents. They just want to have a relationship with mommy and daddy. Imagine being a child growing up knowing your dad is going to be executed. Imagine the pain and the damage it will do to the children. My mom died soon after I was able to talk to her. Trust me, it's affected my entire life. All I want is my mom back and for her to be okay so I can just talk to her. I would like to tell you a story. Also now, I believe Wade is innocent, but since you seem to believe he's guilty, I went to school with a boy named Robbie. He killed a man while on heavy drugs, then spent many years in prison and finally got out. While in prison, he had time to think about what he had done and also was a boy who was taught to act tough and show no emotion. He spent his entire time in prison reading the Bible and self-help books. He is now happily married with children and a good Christian man who speaks to people about the dangers of drugs and not taking the same path he did. Wade does not deserve death penalty. Please have compassion. The lost, the hurting souls need a chance to grow. I beg you to grant him a new trial where he is properly represented and or acquitted, but if you won't, please let Wade live. Please do not take this young man's life from him. There are people who have committed such worse crimes and they don't get death. I've also done my research and know that there have been 200 people executed for being wrongfully accused. 30 in Florida. This is going to be another case of a man sentenced to death and his name cleared after it's too late. Judge Thompson, I know you are a good man with a good, kind heart. Please grant Wade mercy. This is a human and we are all sinners. He is not perfect, but he does believe in God. If you would just allow him to live in prison, I know he will end up being someone who encourages people and kids to take a better path. Also, he regrets his tattoos. He got those for protection because he's scared in jail and people jumped him. This is a scared little boy who is crying out for help inside. If you sentence him to death, Your Honor, you're sentencing me and so many others who love and care for Wade to death. He doesn't deserve death. If his heart stops, so does ours. I beg you, let him live. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, Brooke Hickerson. Judge, as a mother and someone knowing Wade before, please allow him the opportunity for atonement through proper mental health facilities. Sincerely, Lori Flack. Dear Judge Thompson, I hope this letter finds you well. I am writing to respectfully request your consideration in sentencing Wade Wilson to life without parole rather than the death penalty. As someone who cares unconditionally for Wade, I have deeply reflected on the gravity of the situation and the impact of your decision. While I understand the severity of the crime committed, I believe that a life sentence would allow Wade the opportunity to reflect, repent, and contribute positively within the confines of prison. Furthermore, a life sentence would provide his family, along with myself, the chance to maintain a relationship with Wade. It would allow us to visit, correspond, and continue to offer emotional support, a privilege that would be lost with the death penalty. I implore you to consider the broader implications of your decision on both Wade's life and our family's well-being. Choosing life without parole would not only uphold justice, but also preserve our humanity in a difficult time. We are committed to supporting Wade through the journey of his atonement and rehabilitation, wherever it may lead. Thank you for considering my perspective and your attention to this matter. I trust in your wisdom and judgment as you deliberate on this critical issue. Sincerely, Heidi Cox.
First-degree murder, Christine Melton. The defendant is guilty. First-degree murder, Diane Ruiz. The defendant is guilty.